Friday to you all. Welcome in to another Flavoring Fridays brought to you by our friends at OG's Brands. OG's Brands, of course, is the best edible that you can find. They also have launched their brand new Big OGs, which I can't wait to talk about how much I'm a fan of. Head on over to ogsbrands.com to see their full lineup, including their two newest gummies, and find out where you can purchase. Welcome in, Ski, to you all, of course.
Ski.
I am your mayor, PHNX, occasionally known as Derek Montilla. This man next to me, of course, is my vice mayor, occasionally known to you guys as the Thunderstick, Jesse Friedman.
What's up, guys? Jesse.
What happened?
Jesse talk.
Oh, yeah.
Things that Jesse would say.
Yeah. Jesse,
pie charts.
Nerd
pie
stuff.
Charts. Yeah, pie charts.
Venn diagram. FIP.
What did he say yesterday? Everyone loves a pie chart?
Everyone loves a pie chart is what he said off air after the show ended. That was hilarious. But, of course, this is not Jesse Friedman, who is right now struggling to get his way to Portland, Oregon on the coldest, snowiest day of the entire year for some reason. This is the people's producer, the one and only Damon Dog. Glad to have you here, buddy.
Nice to see you.
Yeah.
Have I done the show once or twice?
I think you have been on here once or twice. At least your voice has been on here lots and lots and lots. But we have some good things to talk about because the Diamondbacks have avoided going to the terrible process of arbitration hearings with all 6 of their arbitration-eligible players. And we'll talk about that. But first, I want to ask Damon, because I know he agrees with me. Are arbitration hearings the worst thing in professional sports? Is this just the worst process ever?
We were talking about it a little bit before the show started. Like, what in the world made them think, like, how did they agree to this? How did the MLBPA sit there and say,
this is a good idea.
This is a process in which we should go about giving our players money.
Yeah.
Like, it just makes no sense.
No, I hate it.
No other sport, to my knowledge, has anything even close to this.
Well, it's of course there's the whole way that the minor league pay is structured and pay for young players is structured. No other sport is like it. No other sport, I feel like, holds back a Major League Baseball player in their first few years of being in the majors the same way that baseball does. So they kind of frame arbitration as a good thing because you can get more money for the thing that you're supposed to get. And
if you're really good,
right? But it's terrible because essentially if you can't come to terms, if you can't agree on a salary like the Diamondbacks have with their 6 arbitration-eligible players, you have to go through the terrible process of basically arguing your worth against the franchise that you play for. And then the franchise's position is to argue that you are not nearly worth the amount of money that you are suggesting that you're worth.
It's pretty insane.
What a pleasant process.
Yeah. Imagine that on a day-to-day, Derek, where like this is like a real regular job and you come in and it's PHNX sports arbitration hearing and Derek sits down and on the other side of the courtroom is Saul Bookman.
Oh, I'm losing that arbitration case. I'm losing every dime. There's no way I'm winning that.
And he's saying, well, you put in this much work and you have deficiencies in these regards, and then you're supposed to go in the next day to work and act like everythe's fine and be like, I love this place.
One time you drank a whole bottle of champagne and took your shirt off just because Damon said it was a good idea. There's things like that he would definitely hold against me. Yeah, like imagine that if that's your, like most of us, we get to go to like an annual review where they tell you the good and the bad you've done. Mostly the good, they try to pump you up, they try to gas you up, and then they try to tell you that you're going to get 3% more in your salary, right? That's vastly different than basically going in front of a third party against your boss and having your boss now try to argue why
your boss
you
goes, you suck.
You suck. You're the worst.
Yeah.
This guy, This guy's terrible.
That's what Jacob
I tell Damon he sucks every day.
Well,
Jacob and I have arbitration hearings on a daily basis.
Yeah, it's a toxic environment around here, that's really for sure. But we are very excited about the Diamondbacks, of course, avoiding this terrible, terrible process with their players. But we are going to put Jesse Friedman through the arbitration hearing process later in the show. So make sure to stick around for that. But let's talk about the Diamondbacks avoiding arbitration and signing all of their ARB-eligible players to a one-year deal. Of course, the big name there is Zach Gallen. Zach Gallen agrees to a $10.011 million one-year deal. I think we have a list of all of the players here. There's Zach Gallen, obviously the most important, one there of all of those deals.
Such a handsome man.
But
he's certainly worth more than that.
He is certainly worth more than $10 million. I have a feeling if Zach Gallen comes into an arbitration hearing and slides $10 million across the table on a little piece of paper, and I know that's not how it works. I know this is different, but if
that's definitely how it works.
That's what he wants. You're like, say less, son. Say less.
All I see when I look at this is how Kevin Ginkel is the most criminally underpaid player in baseball.
No, that's absolutely correct. Kevin Ginkel is
$1.2 million.
Yeah.
For that guy?
I don't know. After meeting him, I feel like he's the kind of guy that not to undercut, his abilities, but I feel like Kevin Ginkel's like 1.2. I'm good, son.
Oh, he doesn't care.
That's plenty of money.
Yeah,
that's plenty of money.
He does it for the love of the game. He doesn't do it for the money at all. He does it so he can strike, the Phillies' 3 best hitters out in a row and come off the mound just screaming. Yeah. That's what you can't put value on. Right. No. You can't put value on your 8th inning guy just juicing the entire team up, getting ready to go for the 9th. Like that, there's what number amount do you put on that?
How do you go argue before a third party dogging him? How do you argue?
That's what I'm saying.
How big the dog in you
Kevin
is?
Kevin Ginkel should be like, I had 5 screams off the mound in the postseason this year, and that's why I deserve $2 million.
Look at Jesse was searching what stat he could have, like the Zips projections. You already came up with like
so much more simple than that.
The SPG, the screams per game.
It's elementary.
It really is. It's that easy, and that really should factor in here. But taking a look at that list once again, there are some other notable players on there. Obviously, Christian Walker being the other big name, I guess you would say, of these guys that, of course, we know that Christian Walker, his defensive value and everything he did during the regular season there, that again, much like Zach Gallen, that is nothing to pay for a first baseman of his caliber for another season. I hate the fact that Christian Walker, because I saw a little bit of this when this kind of got announced, that like his postseason performance is really hanging over the head with so many people. When at any point during a baseball season, the guy can go into a slump for a few weeks and then
he's always kind of been a streaky guy.
He has been a streaky
he just
guy.
got on the bad streak at the wrong time.
Right.
There was times in the season where it's like Christian Walker's going to hit a home run today,
and
then he did, and then there were times where it's like this guy's striking out at everything, and so I just feel like Christian Walker's just one of those guys where it's just like there's going to be ebbs and flows to things. Like he's still a great player.
Paul Sewald's still arbitration eligible, which surprised me a little bit. Sometimes I forget how young Paul Sewald is because, of course, he is the bullpen's dad.
Well, and like relievers come up late a lot, right? So then their arbitration hearings go like into their 30s, and then you're sitting there and you're like, I still haven't hit free agency yet, and I'm 31 years old.
It's kind of wild. Yeah, it's kind of wild. That's again why this whole process is just so weird. Reliever Ryan Thompson gets $1.35 million. Paul Sewald $7.35 million. Joe Mantiply $925,000. And then, like you said earlier, Kevin Ginkel, $1.225 million. Any surprise there that Christian Walker received the most out of that group?
More than Gallen, maybe.
Yeah. It's service time.
It is a service
time thing.
Absolutely. I think this, if I'm not mistaken, that's it for Christian Walker. So,
he should be a free agent next year, right?
The biggest thing that I noticed from all of this is that the fact that they didn't have to go to hearings for any of their players tells me that this team means business. Players and team.
Yeah.
Players said, you know what? Yeah. It's either the player said, you know what, whatever you want to give me, you give me, and I'm going to go in all business next year.
Right.
Or the players slid the number across the table.
Yeah, and they were like, done.
And they were like, cool.
They sound like a connected team.
And you know what a connected team is?
Fucking dangerous.
There you go. Good job. Boy. All right. The one thing here, though, is that their estimated costs for their arbitration-eligible players per MLB trade rumors was $34.6 million, and their actual cost $31.761 million. So They kept it under estimates. And as far as the team goes, I feel like, again, this is when you talk about that, when you talk about them kind of coming in and getting business done, like Jacob said, there's something to the fact that they, the team is trying to save every dime they can and put it towards reinvesting it back into the team. So at this point with a few other positional needs, it's great that they came in under budget. Great that they came in under estimates. It's great that they are done with this whole process and can move on to, adding whatever they feel like they still need to add. According to Dan Szymborski yesterday, it's a big mistake if they don't get that DH. And I think that I would have a hard time disagreeing with that.
Yeah, we were talking about it a little bit on TPSP as well. Like, you just need that one extra hitter. I think that's the thing about Christian Walker is he's like, going back to that conversation, he's such a great player, and like, he obviously brings so much to the team, but the level in which they relied upon him to be a power bat in the postseason was not, he's not that caliber. You know what I mean? He's a great power hitter, but he's not like the guy who's going to carry you to the World Series on his back.
Right.
I think adding in that extra power hitter guy like a Soler or a JD is just a necessity to this team to just get a little bit off of Christian Walker's back, and just so we're relying on him a little bit less if he happens to have one of these bad streaks in the postseason.
Christian Walker's career with the Arizona Diamondbacks, he's essentially been a 250 batting average, and a guy that can hit anywhere between 80 to 100 RBI, right? Like there's that's what you're going to get out of him. But again, he did kind of become that in that he became that power hitter for the Diamondbacks, and
he was like the one guy. When you look at the team, he's like the one guy who you're like, that's power bat. I mean, look at the middle of the lineup in the playoffs. He was hitting a lot of home runs, but what did he have on the year? Not a ton, right? And then you have Christian Walker, who's your power guy, and then you have Longoria, who is like, that's what we're relying upon as an extra power bat. Like, I think Gurriel, who isn't like a huge home run hitter, he's at one of the D-backs have a lot of those like middling guys for home run hitters, a lot of 20 home run guys, which is great balance. Yeah. I mean, you look at it, you got Cattell, Corbin, Gurriel. I think Gabby could get to that level potentially where you're in that like 20 to 30 range, but Christian's the only guy who gives you 30 plus. Or has the potential to do that.
Do you think he felt that pressure during the playoffs to be that power bat for them, and that just kind of contributed to his struggles there a bit?
I think it's natural, right?
Like, because you're the guy, right? Like, you're the guy.
And then you start pressing, and you're like, I haven't hit a home run in a while, and then that's all you can think about. Nicholas says Walker is just not that consistently reliable for power, even though he's still going to get you 30-plus home runs. Adding another 30-plus home run guy would be so massive for this lineup. Yeah, that's basically just what we're saying.
Yeah, and just taking the pressure off 100%.
Of him. Yeah, you got that guy in the 5th spot or in the 4th spot, move Christian to the 5th spot. Like, I think you're cooking with gas there.
I think at the end of the day, Christian Walker's defense is so vastly underrated, and it's hard for a first baseman to really do enough to value his defense and say, like, that's a huge part of his game. But it is like the stuff that he does over there when he's not playing over there, when we had Emmanuel Rivera, when we had some of the other guys filling over there, Pavin Smith. It was, I mean, again, it's just like you immediately saw examples where a ball gets through the infield and you just can't help but say, Christian Walker would have had that, right? So like his defense remains the best defense for a first baseman in the league. But Zach Gallen, again, going back to the absolute deal that is Zach Gallen when it comes to him getting paid $10 million for the next season. I mean, we talked about MLB Network ranking him as the 3rd best pitcher in all of baseball, which we felt like was even maybe a touch overrated, a skosh overrated, a little crazy. But Gallen has proven to be one of the best pitchers in baseball, and again. Getting him at that price, going forward is a good thing for the Diamondbacks. I saw someone said Walker was projected to get $12 million. I can only bet that Zach Gallen was projected to at least get a few million more. But I mean, Gallen 3.47 ERA at a 2.54 ERA last year, just a Cy Young candidate all season long. Big reason why the Diamondbacks were able to get as far as they got in the playoffs and during the season. So, again, just happy to have this done. Glad to have this off the plate. Now we can focus on some more
just
acquisitions.
More DH.
Just bring the DH home. Maybe go after some relievers. I don't know. I still don't know who is out and who is in and what they're going to be continuing to look for. I still have a feeling Mike Hazen is going to try to find some low-cost options that might end up being able to perform, like someone like Ryan Thompson, who got his money.
Bring me all the Ryan Thompsons.
Bring me all. Yeah.
Give me a 26-man roster of Ryan Thompsons. We'll win it all.
T-time. Anyway. All right. Well, of course, now we have to put Jesse through arbitration. But before we do that, we thank you guys for being here as the jury, I guess. I don't know. It's not a real hearing. It's usually like an arbitrator or something like that.
This is definitely real.
This is real? All right. Well, then Jacob is going to, in fact, be the decision maker here.
We're figuring out whether or not Jesse's coming back from Portland.
This is how we're going to determine Jesse's salary going forward for the 2024 season. But we do appreciate you guys being here to witness this. Of course, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, make sure to do so now. Sign up for notifications. That way you don't miss when any of our wonderful shows go live. Leave us a thumbs up. Of course, give us a like. Gabby will always tell you to do that. If you're listening on the audio podcasting side, make sure you subscribe to us there as well. Leave us a review. We appreciate those 5-star reviews very much. Of course, if you're looking to upgrade your home in 2024, a great way to do so is with some new flooring from Empire Today. Empire Today is your one-stop shop for at-home convenience. And we know it's 2024. We've gone beyond the time of going to showrooms. We've gone beyond wasting our lives hunting around for things through all these options that don't mean anything to us. Empire Today keeps shopping for floors simple with a curated product selection. They also have their virtual home floor designer, which will allow you to take a picture of any room in your house and see what that new flooring will look like. Shopping for floors at big stores can be frustrating. And of course, Empire Today prides itself on their convenient shop-at-home service. They help customers shop for floors where they use their floors so you can see exactly what they're going to look like. Again, they also service their own warranties. So if an issue arises, you can just call Empire. Much easier than trying to deal with several different vendors when it comes to having your flooring installed. Schedule a free in-home estimate today. All listeners can receive $350 discount when they use the promo code PHNX. Restrictions apply. See empiretoday.com/PHNX for details. You got any good bets this week over on the Bet Show on PHNX Bets, Damon?
Well, funny you mention it, because yesterday I took do you know who Isaiah Hartenstein is on the Knicks?
I do know who Isaiah Hartenstein is.
I took him to get 15 rebounds.
In what world?
Plus 350.
Yeah.
Guess what cash?
Yeah.
15 rebounds.
Let's go.
I texted Jacob. I was so hyped about it last night. What a call.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It was a good day yesterday. I also took Suns money line yesterday.
Yeah. And they looked great last night. So,
absolutely.
Of course, stay locked in on bets with this guy over here over at PHNX Bets. And of course, if you have not gotten down on the action on the BetMGM Sportsbook app, do so today. You can get $158 in bonus bets back in honor of Super Bowl 58. All you have to do is sign up and use our bonus code of PHNX and deposit at least $5 into your newly created account and bet that amount or more at a standard odds price. Once you have placed your bet, you will receive $158 in bonus bets, regardless of the outcome of your wager. Great time to bet those. That's where you use those bonus bets on his bets. That's where you go over
Isaiah Hartenstein.
And then if they don't hit, you don't blame my precious baby boy Damon for giving you bad advice.
No.
It's bonus bets. No. It's just gone in the wind.
But they always hit.
But they always hit. Some of the times. Anyway, sign up for the BetMGM. Use bonus code PHNX. Place your first BetMGM Sportsbook wager through the mobile application of at least $5. You will receive that $158 instantly in additional winnings, regardless of your wager's outcome. Check out the show notes for full details. And now listen to Shane talk about the disclaimer.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Colorado, D.C., Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, New Jersey, Nevada, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus to wager. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help Michigan. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. U.S. promotional offers not available in D.C., New York, or Ontario.
Ontario.
That was by far the best one we've ever done.
Ever in the history of the show.
Mustachio Mike. Hey, Derek, Saul was saying yesterday you be taking 75 milligram to 100 milligram of OGs. Is that true? This has been the talk of the office recently because Derek walks around every day and he's like, they make these big OGs now. And he's been telling everybody that'll listen. I'm having a conversation with Flex, full-on conversation yesterday. You've been out of the office for hours, and he brings this up to me. Everybody's talking about it, Derek. So would you like to address it?
Yes. The answer is yes, it's true. I do. What? Why are you villainizing me? What did I do wrong? OG's is the one that made a big OG's. They say it's perforated so that you can break it up and share it with people, or it comes together as one piece for you to eat. Did I maybe do it one time by accident and then just really enjoyed myself? Yeah.
Wasn't that at Budsapalooza?
It was at, well, it wasn't at Budsapalooza.
Didn't you guys not read? Didn't you? You bought it at Budsapalooza, and then you were like, I didn't realize it was 100 milligrams.
If you go to Budsapalooza, there's a lot of giveaways. And of course, these came in a single-use package that looked very much like a slice of orange that you would eat. And I was like, oh, hey, I have that one, eat the one edible. Turns out that I was supposed to cut it into pieces. But
what was that picture you sent me the other day where you were in that recliner after you took one of these big OGs and you were just like, you were just smiling ear to ear?
Yeah, that's whatever. That's fine. Vote for Espo. That seems unfair. That seems unfair.
To answer Chris's question,
do you really want a mayor that doesn't know anything about eating 100 milligram edibles? Come on. Anyway, I don't like when people want to publicly come at me for my job as mayor of PHNX.
They knew what they signed up for when they voted you in office.
That's right.
They knew damn well what they were signing up for.
I ran on the campaign of marijuana edibles and chicken tenders from Four Peaks, and that's why you elected me your mayor, right? So, but with that being said about people attacking people and their other jobs and stuff, I think it's time for us to put Jesse Friedman through an arbitration hearing right now. Is that what we're going to do? Let's have an arbitration conversation. Let's go, baby. Dun, dun. I don't think I'm allowed to do that, but as long as it's not the real sound, I think it's fine, right?
Yeah, I like that.
Dun, dun.
Put me in the mood.
Let's go. Well, when, like we said earlier, you go through an arbitration hearing, obviously you have a representative, an agent of some kind that is speaking on your behalf, because as the player, you don't really want to sit there and stick up for yourself, I guess. Like, that's kind of a weird thing. However, I think Josh Rojas says that exactly what he did when he went through his arbitration hearing with the Diamondbacks, which does not surprise me at all. Because Josh Rojas is the kind of guy that when you ask him if he wants to negotiate, he's probably like, let's go. That's what I imagine him doing, right? So in that same vein, I'm going to represent Jesse Friedman here because we have to have a relationship after this. And I think if I continue to just belittle him on this show while he's watching right now, it's probably not going to be the best thing for us going forward.
And I volunteer as tribute to go against Jesse because that sounds fun.
I appreciate that. And like we said, Jacob will be our moderator here. He will be our arbiter, and he will tell us if I won, I guess, or if Damon won.
How long are we going?
I don't know. I think we just can make some points back and forth, and then we'll put it in your hands.
Okay.
All right.
Let's hear the prosecution first,
sir. Floor is yours.
Good people of the jury, Honorable Judge Jacob Ski.
This is already pandering.
Excuse me.
Sorry.
Can I get an objection? That's
Sorry.
Insane.
Sorry.
We're one sentence in.
It's obvious pandering.
So
quiet from the gallery.
Thank you, Honorable Judge. Jesse Friedman, good guy. Does he belong on a Supermax deal? That's the question at hand. Is it not? I mean, should he be the highest paid?
Should he get more money than Zach Gallen is basically what we're asking.
And my reasoning is no. And we have here on the first bullet point because he thinks Salad and Go is so great.
Yeah, it's hard to
argue
against that.
I don't really know what else to say about that. I don't know why. Is that? Would you like to explain why that's a con, Derek?
I mean, for the most part, he is in the belief that Salad and Go is the best fast food place, and I have no defense in regards to that. Obviously, the best fast food place is Wendy's. There's no debate there.
Wow.
But
that's a hot take.
It's a scalding hot take.
Yeah, I mean, we can just move on from that one. This one, a little bit more pressing. He doesn't know any pop culture references at all. So Derek, Mr. Pop Culture will reference a million different things on the show, and Jesse never has any idea what he's talking about without fail. I'm on the younger side. I am usually listening to Derek's references as well, and I get about half of them, but that's a decent percentage. Getting none of them is not a decent percentage.
You both make me feel very old. Now,
Yeah.
I would like to argue that this show, what would it be without Jesse? It would just be me and Damon with
for sure,
just getting irrationally emotional every single day.
Point. I need to.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
The prosecution has one more.
I thought we were bouncing back and forth here, but please go ahead. Go ahead.
I just need to
make your case.
I just need to throw out there that there's a lot of times in which Jesse says nothing, but he talks a lot. So that's my third con against Jesse. I tell Jesse this every day. I'll ask him what he wants when he wants a clip scheduled, and he'll give me no answer, and he'll talk for a minute straight. I think that bears noting when going through with this proceeding, and
I've been present when that's happened.
Finding his true value.
Yeah. I would argue that Jesse's lack of pop culture knowledge is made up for by his ridiculous knowledge of the game of baseball. Now, what would this show be without Jesse? I said that earlier. It would just be Damon and I screaming just obscenities. And
it was that for a second.
It really was. Yeah.
We had Sean. It was you and Sean and me clicking buttons. And
there was nobody in charge.
There may have been a conversation as to there was too much cursing going on. Maybe
that's why the swear jar was brought into the picture.
Possibly.
I don't know.
I can neither confirm nor deny whether that's true or not.
Now, I would argue that Jesse is actually wasting his talents on doing this show with me. And I think most of you would agree with that. He could easily be in the front office as some sort of boy genius in baseball for any franchise, any organization at any level, Major League, the minors, Japan, anywhere. It doesn't matter. I think he would do specifically well in the Caribbean area. But he is wasting his talent on this podcast with me, which brings up another point, that Jesse has to do this podcast with me. And I think that right there is enough to justify any amount of money that we are seeking for my client to receive additionally here, because
it's a good point.
It's just an absurd thing to have to deal with. I am mostly Puerto Rican and also Irish. I'm a lot, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And
he likes to drink is what he's trying to say.
That's hearsay, Your Honor. That is hearsay. I would like that stricken from the record. But
sustained.
Jesse is actually low-key hilarious. And that's something that I don't think most of you actually get to see out of him. Much like there's that myth that we only use 10% of our brain, which is absolutely not true. You only get to see 10% of Jesse's humor. The rest of it is hidden behind the times where he's tweeting in all caps from our account, making you think it's me, or texting me funny things that he would never let you see and would be mortified if I did screenshots and posted them like I have in the past. So, but most importantly, who's going to explain what FIP is?
Yeah.
Who is going to explain what fielding independent pitching actually is to people on this show? I can't. I won't. I'm not going to. And honestly, right there, the fact that this man is so patient to share what all of these statistics mean and how they impact your favorite players and how one is better than the other, right there, I think earns Jesse Friedman every dime that we're seeking. And I rest my case.
Who's gonna ask us about pie charts?
I was just about to say the prosecution has entered a couple examples.
Okay. All right,
Mr. Montilla, what would your defendant say with the claim that has been brought against him that he did in fact say, who doesn't love a pie chart?
That is, in fact, a thing that happened. But
Jesse Friedman,
I think what it once again shows is that Jesse's just a special kind of person when it comes to his love of statistics and numbers. And that's not something that we don't. Again, do you want to put together a pie chart? Somebody has to put together a pie chart. And don't you want the person that's putting together that pie chart to love it? To just love it, to have it be their favorite thing, to just be so tickled about the fact that he gets to put a pie chart together that we all get to look at it for a second and go, oh yeah. And then we move on with our lives. But Jesse took hours to make that. He put so much work into it.
Is pros nerd, cons nerd.
Yeah. Pretty much. Pretty much.
Mr. Montilla, what would
Yes,
your
sir.
defendant say to the claim that he intends to be a good human when he says, I know you guys have a lot on your plate. I don't know if I should put this extra clip in there.
No.
But then proceeds to put the clip in anyway.
Right.
Every single
Yeah.
time.
You know what I will say in his defense is that what you guys didn't see is a 45-minute text conversation that occurred between me and Jesse where he asked me that same question. And I just sat there the whole time saying, yeah, fuck Damon. And then he politely asked them if they would do it anyway. Whereas I used obscenities and I was just very direct. Yeah.
It always ends with that would be great.
That
Isn't
would
it,
be
Jacob?
great. Yeah. I was like,
His requests. It's
Yeah.
always
That would be great.
That would be great.
Yeah. Mr. Fairall, what would you say to the notion that the defendant is a silly goose?
I would say that being a silly goose is both good and bad in nature. And while it brings joyous moments at times, it also can distract from the task at hand. You know, Jesse, he's always not on the task at hand. Definitely not thinking about this show.
this sounds like a man that's not well versed in bird law and good people
I'm
of the
hearing
court. I am well
circles.
versed.
I'm hearing circles.
I am well versed in bird law.
I have come to my decision.
Let's go.
Mr. Freeman shall be awarded victory.
Yeah! Let's go! Let's go, baby!
Tough loss for me.
Yeah.
Tough loss for PHNX D-backs. Our cap.
The
is-
salary will be deferred over the next 10 years.
So this is the downside
Oh.
of this.
Well
This is the
done.
downside of this,
Yeah,
Derek.
what's that?
So he just got awarded extra money.
Yeah.
At PHNX D-backs, we actually have a cap in which we can't go over. And unfortunately, we're
Is
going to
it-
have to find some ways to cut costs.
Is it not a CBT
And,
threshold situation where we're not just getting taxed additionally on the 20%?
No,
above
unfortunately,
it?
this is a
No?
hard cap.
This is our first time being over the threshold. So what?
And we do have to. We are going to have to make some cuts.
Damon
Everything-
knows where this is going. Damon, you're fired.
Everything's on the table. All right.
Did we lose Jesse Jr. just now?
No,
what
we
just
lost
happened?
me. It's
All
been a
right.
good run, guys.
All right, man. Well,
All right,
I
Damon,
don't-
you're rehired.
I don't want your computer. It's very loud.
My
All
shitty
right.
computer. Why wouldn't you want it?
I don't know. Because it sounds like an airplane taking off most days. But, well, there you go. Jesse wins. And you see, he deserved it. He deserved it. You also deserve everything you're looking for in life. And a great way for you to get going in that direction is by picking a credit union that has your financial interest in mind. Of course, Desert Financial Credit Union has been doing that for more than 84 years here in the Valley. Their team of financial experts are committed to their members and the community, offering financial solutions tailored to help you achieve your financial dreams and goals. And of course, something that not every bank has in mind is your best interest. So make sure to use a bank that does. When you open a free checking account online, you can get $200 in bonuses. Get started by visiting desertfinancial.com/200. Another great way to save some money, of course, is using the Game Time app for any concert, show, sporting event that you want to attend. Don't let FOMO keep you from going to, or I guess let FOMO get to you, because you can get your tickets last minute. So even if you have decided not to go to an event and then the day of the event comes and you were like, I made a big mistake not going, you can get your tickets from Game Time last minute. It's the fastest growing ticketing app in the country for a reason. Snag the tickets without the stress with Game Time. Download the app, create an account, and use code PHNX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code PHNX for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. And of course, another great place for you to stop and save some money is at Circle K. Gas prices are dropping, but if you want to save even more money, you can stop by Circle K after you join their Inner Circle membership program for free. You will save 25 cents off per gallon for your first 5 fill-ups. Again, you can pair that together with their Easy Pay option, which will get you 10 cents off per gallon. Next thing you know, you're saving 35 cents. You also get all sorts of free offers inside of their Inner Circle app. So download it today. You can join the Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit circlek.com for details. And yeah, there are some things that have happened around Major League Baseball, and they still don't make very much sense to us.
And they make Sean DePaz very.
Oh,
angry.
he's going to be so upset that
He texted me.
Oh, did he?
About this situation.
Can do you think he would mind that you read his text
go ahead
aloud?
And say what happened.
So
first.
basically, starting pitcher Marcus Stroman, former Chicago Cub, has signed a 2-year deal with the New York Yankees for $37 million per Ken Rosenthal from The Athletic. This kind of just infuriates me a little bit because this is kind of like the Imanaga signing where I'm like, we could have gotten Marcus Stroman for 2 years and $37 million. Why didn't we get Marcus Stroman for 2 years and $37 million?
Lucas Giolito got.
Yeah. What are we doing here? What happened?
He was pretty miserable in the second half.
You're not wrong. I mean,
after an injury.
After injury, right? Yeah.
Before that, he was electric.
He was a Cy Young candidate. He still finished the season with a 3.95 ERA and a 1.259 WHIP. Not terrible by any stretch of the imagination, but a lot of that is because of the second half and the how he kind of struggled there. Didn't they have him come out of the bullpen too? Like it was so weird.
They really toyed around with it at the end of the year because I think the injury lingered. It was just a really weird situation.
Giolito was just bad.
He was bad for sure.
No, like really bad.
Yeah, like a 7.5 ERA.
Yeah, and he got about the same amount of money as a guy who was a Cy Young candidate for a majority of the year.
So what does Sean say about this?
Yeah, let's hear Sean's remarks.
So Sean texts me out of the blue. We were not texting prior to this, and he said, not to be dramatic, but Stroman being a Yankee makes me want to blank myself. I'm not going to say the full statement. And then he says, and then I said, I watched the video of him Kang Soto, and it was sick. And he said, and now he's gone to the dark side. He's really upset. It was an unprompted. Me and Sean don't text all the time, just sometimes when more prominent things happen. This was like one of the things that like fired him up. Just put rage inside of his blood. Like this guy, no one hates the Yankees. No one loves or hates anything the way Sean hates the Yankees.
That's true. Meanwhile, Jordan Hicks today it was announced that he is getting a 4-year, $44 million contract from the San Francisco Giants to now be a starting pitcher.
What? I didn't see the starting pitcher part.
He is going to be a starting pitcher for the San Francisco Giants. It's weird.
This sounds like a terrible experiment waiting to happen.
It sounds like
4 years?
Like that's something you do with a guy that's in your organization that you've seen something out of that would lead you like, okay, he's our long reliever, and to be honest, I think he's the best option. We're going to convert him over.
They tried Chapman. The Reds did that with Chapman for a little bit, right? They were like, Aroldis Chapman is so electric. Let's try him as a starter. It didn't work, obviously. And that was because he was a hard thrower like Jordan Hicks. But giving a 4-year, $44 million contract to a guy that you haven't seen start and risking that just seems insane.
It's kind of weird. Yeah. He has had essentially a 5-year career. He actually opted out of playing during the COVID-19 season, so he did not play at all in 2020. But in his time, Jordan Hicks has been, pretty good. Last year, he best of his career had a 2.63 ERA, 1.083 WHIP, an ERA plus of 164.
I really like Jordan Hicks.
Yeah.
But like that just seems like what a crazy risk to be giving a 4-year
terrible
deal.
Injury history.
He did
terrible.
How is that going to get better?
What percentile would you put his walk rate in?
I'm sure it's high because he throws hard.
He throws like 104.
Yeah.
He's 15th percentile for walks. That's pretty miserable.
Yeah.
He did start 8 games for the Cardinals back in 2022, so it's not like he hasn't started before, but not really. Just an odd thing when it comes to the Giants and what they're doing with their starting rotation, right?
That's just so much. I'm not aware of his injury history. That even makes it worse. It just seems like just a ridiculous move to me. The Giants have freaked out this offseason.
Yeah,
They missed out on every single one of their top targets. They signed Lee, right? And Lee was like
$111 million for a guy who hit 5 home runs in the KBO.
He was projected to get half that. He hit 5 home runs in the 3rd best league in professional league in the sport.
They made the trade with the Mariners to bring in Robbie Ray, and so now they have Logan Webb, Ross Stripling, Robbie Ray.
If they go out and get Blake Snell, is that a win for them this offseason?
Their rotation would be damn good.
Yeah, and maybe they go out and get Bellinger.
I mean, if they got Bellinger and Blake Snell, the top 2 free agents available, I think, yeah, I'd say.
I mean, they're linked to both.
They are.
Well, and again, like you said, this is what I was talking about the whole time with the Shohei Ohtani. Like, when you are going to sign Shohei, you have to budget for Shohei. And when you swing and miss on Shohei, it's not like you're going to go out and give another guy $1 billion. But what you do have is theoretically $1 billion fucking lying around for the next 10 years that you somehow made peace with paying a player, right? So then you can pay other guys and have it not affect you.
I did nitpick at Jordan Hicks's Baseball Savant page. Like, there's a ton of red on that page.
Sure.
But it's still one of those, like, is it proven?
PC Yoshi says he used to be a starter, so I guess he has experience.
He started 8 games. Yeah, he came into the league as a starter.
Okay.
Started 8 games last year. I would probably wager a good amount of those were as an opener.
2022.
4 years is too much, though. That's the problem.
If 4 years, 44 million. He got more money than Marcus Stroman, and how do you justify
if it
that?
was 1 year, $11 million, and it was like a prove it that you can start and then move on, and then we'll go from there, that would make sense to me. But 4 years when the guy has not, I mean, I guess they assume that they could probably just throw him back in the pen if they need to. I guess
and such, right? So it's not like it's something that they're going to shy away from doing. If
they're the bullpen game gods.
Yeah.
So like maybe they make Hicks the opener.
Yeah.
He's really more of a
pitches 4 innings,
a glorified relief pitcher. He pitches 3 innings and then he leaves the game. I could see that.
Well, the Miami Marlins are reportedly entertaining offers on Luis Arraez. Does that mean anything? Does that mean anything? I'm entertaining.
What are you going to have to give up to get it?
I'm entertaining offers on lots of stuff. If someone wants to pay me $200,000 for my car, they can have it. I'm entertaining offers on my car right now. I mean, you're entertaining offers, but does that and I feel like the problem with that is when that kind of news gets out, then it does kind of through the telephone game become that the Miami Marlins are shopping Luis Arraez around, and then they're going to inevitably trade him, and now you get your fan base all worked up over kind of nothing when it's literally just the team saying, yeah, we're not opposed to hearing you out, but, you're going to pay if you want Luis Arraez, right?
I just think this is what small market teams do, right?
I know. Especially small market teams in Florida.
Yeah. I mean, Randy Arozarena, perfect example.
I know.
Like, you hear that and you're like, oh, the Rays are trying to trade him. But like you said, I think that just means that
they were taking offers on him, but it had to be an incredible offer in order for them to actually want to get rid of a guy of that caliber. Same thing with a guy that hit almost 400.
What did he finish at?
He slashed 354, 393, 469 with an 861 OPS.
He was flirting with 400 for like half the season. There.
He was, and then he came back down to earth a little bit there in the second half. But
singles God.
I don't care. I'll take all.
I do kind of care though.
No.
I care I'm
willing to die on this
hill. Wild. It is wild to have a 354 batting average and have 69 RBI.
Yeah,
like that's kind of wild. Yeah.
Like the level of productivity. I think I would probably like having him on my team, but at the same time, there's a little part of me that's like, is he productive enough?
You need guys like that. But you don't. What you don't do is you don't trade a massive prospect haul for guys like that. So like this is obviously he didn't hit 354. So I'm not saying this, but like. A guy like Perdomo, and I bang the drum for him all the time, is like his value lies in the fact that he gets on base constantly, and he's not hitting with any power. Yeah. They're all singles, they're all walks, but you need guys that get on base especially for the back end of your lineup. But I don't know, I wouldn't trade, Drew Jones for Luis Arraez when how much value is he providing outside of being an on-base guy?
To go back to Jacob's point, he had 203 hits last year. Of the 203 hits, 43 were extra base hits, including doubles, triples, and home runs.
You just don't get as much as like it makes you think you get.
Yeah, the stats look better.
He just becomes the hitman, right? But without any other line, any other
I get that he's got to probably start the All-Star game. I get that he's, what I mean? But like,
you have to.
I pick Ketel Marte over him.
Yeah. I think almost every team in baseball would.
Yeah, except people who are casual baseball fans. Then they're like, he hit 360. How could you take Ketel over him?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I definitely think that I think almost everybody would say we'll take Ketel over Luis Arraez.
Yeah,
I don't think that's really up for debate. Ozzie Albies, guys like that.
Because again, it's about guys getting on base, but the Diamondbacks have guys that can get on base.
Yeah,
that's why what we talked about in the first segment about the power hitter is so important. It's what the Diamondbacks really need to complement Christian Walker, so that Christian Walker doesn't need to be considered their power hitter, or at least can have a little bit of that taken off of him. I mean, I felt
he's
like
also horrible defensively.
Yeah, there's that too.
Outs above average, he's first percentile. Minus 13.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I wouldn't trade for him.
No.
I wouldn't trade for him.
And 21st percentile for sprint speed.
I would entertain offers for him. That's what I would do.
That's why I'm entertaining offers for him, because he kind of sucks.
Yeah,
I don't know about that.
Yeah, let's calm down on a 354 batting average.
I don't know if he sucks.
Sucking. He led the American League in batting average last year too, so it's not like just a fluke. Yeah, he did. He was I think at 318.
316.
316 batting.
Yeah, 316.
Yeah.
He is kind of a stud.
He is kind of a stud.
His OPS this year was almost 900. So I'll give it.
Is that good?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
It's 860.
Oh, he sucks.
He sucks. His OPS was under 800 last year.
We're very up and down on this show, but
this show getting emotional without Jesse?
Without Jesse
it
and
could
getting
never happen.
Irrational? That's crazy talk. Well, of course, we thank Jesse for being on vacation so we could put him through an arbitration hearing. We thank you guys for stopping by. You can follow us on Twitter. I am at cap_caveman with a K. This maniac sitting next to me is the people's producer, a.k.a. Damon Dog. You can find him at that with the D-A-W-G at the end. We are Damon's dogs. Bark, bark. Can you not bark when you
I always feel weird.
Bark. Thank you.
I did tweet at Damon yesterday. I said, bark, get him, Damon. And the man didn't even like the tweet.
Yeah, come on. That's Father Overlord Jacob, by the way, on the ones and twos. You can follow him at Jacob_Franklin4 because he is the fourth best Jacob Franklin in existence. Of course, our show is at PHNX_DBacks, but all roads do lead to at PHNX_sports on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Thank you guys for stopping by. We appreciate your time. And remember, kids, baseball is fun, but it's so much more fun when you don't have to argue your worth against your team.
We all silly like the mayor.